Hello and welcome to Rendy Reviews, where I, Rendy Jones, review the latest in film and television. Today we're reviewing Belfast, which is currently on the top of the best picture predictions of, well, a lot of different brackets out there. I saw this movie at TIFF in September and, it's a crowd pleaser. Best picture, sure. Let's go with that. Belfast poses Kenneth Branagh as his most scaled back in scope and intimate in tone to transport viewers to the titular city of 1969 during the height of the Troubles, a class war that pit the Protestants and Catholics against each other. As you're thrown into this specific backdrop, the film focuses on Buddy, played by newcomer Jude Hill, a wee 9-year-old living with his mom, played by Caitríona Balfe, dad, played by Dornan, older brother Will, played by McAskie, and not so far off from his grandparents, played by Judi, Dench, and Ciarán Hinds. Due to this being a heightened time where a revolution is taking place and militant action and surveillance are taken to his rather quiet neighborhood, Buddy tries to navigate life as a child his age should. Meanwhile, his ma is forced to hold down the fort while Pa travels from Ireland to England, as they both are pensive on their stance regarding living in the city during these complicated times. Within the past decade, actor, writer, and director Kenneth Branagh has primarily held multi-million-dollar studio films that ranged in quality. The man has played himself in both the past and the future in Artemis Fowl. Remember that garbage? He did that. Plus the unreleased Death in the Nile film, which is already cursed due to it starring a cannibal, an anti-vaxxer, and a Zionist, all in one ensemble. Once wearing nothing but big budget productions, Branagh tries on some new clothes to deliver an original and personal slice of life love letter to the place of his upbringing. To keep it plain and simple, this is Kenneth Branagh's best movie in ages. I did give Cinderella a 5 out of 5 rating, but I was also like 14, so that doesn't necessarily count. For the first time in a very long time, you hear his voice in a poignant and nostalgic recreation of a childhood he's personally familiar with. Belfast is described as a semi-autobiographical film and is felt through the intricate amount of detail he put through his lens and presentation. Be warned, many people will describe it as Branagh's Roma, due to it being another slice of life period piece presented in black and white during a revolution in the filmmaker's country of origin. But as far as thematic storytelling goes, this is like if A Christmas Story was directed by Richard Linklater with a dash of Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. It primarily centers on 9-year-old Buddy in a series of snapshot vignettes doing childlike activities, such as playing, having first crushes at school, and getting into trouble. During all of this, the tension between the opposing sides of the war brims in the background of the neighborhood. Through Buddy, we get a glimpse of the world he inhabits and his navigation, which is the perfect portrayal of being a 9-year-old. Even if you're unfamiliar with the period, the film makes you want to be a kid again. It has a natural sense of humor where minuscule episodic events happen throughout, and Buddy tries to find guidance through his family, mostly his wise and loving grandparents. It may be small in scale, but boy, does the film wear its heart on its sleeve. As much as you try to be a Grinch towards it, it truly finds a way to warm your heart. Much like other international slice-of-life period dramas, such as Roma and Cold War, Belfast is shot in black and white to make the recreation of this time in Northern Ireland feel like it's being screened from an old-school projector, but with crisp cinematography. Branagh bridges the use of color in his black and white world during scenes of Buddy's family visiting theater spaces and witnessing art, whether it be a stage production of A Christmas Carol or watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the theater, and you see the love for cinema in little Buddy's eyes. I know Oscar voters are going to eat this up because nothing tickles their fancy more than a movie that finds a way to tribute other movies, which this does a lot. Branagh does his best to accurately depict the anxiety-inducing reality of the time while balancing it with a childlike point of view. This is the story of Buddy and his family trying to live a normal life under rough conditions. Though I don't have the authority to say whether this moment in history is depicted accurately or not, I was completely immersed in the setting, even when the militant occupation was present and you could feel the tension bubbling. The screenplay accomplishes a genuine form of anxiety on a small scale for the family doesn't know if they should stay or go. Like The Clash! The cast delivers fantastic performances, but it's newcomer Jude Hill who wields the film's baton. It's this kid's debut and he delivers one of the most powerful and natural performances I've seen a child actor do since Jacob Tremblay ran the gamut during the 2010s. He's cute, Witty, has natural charm with great comedic timing, and walks the fine line between curiosity and confusion without going overboard. He's written so well where his dialogue, actions, and reactions to whatever scenario he's positioned in stay in their rightful lane. It feels as if you're in his shoes throughout the film, and there are moments where you go, man, that takes me back. It's great to see Caitríona Balfe display her natural skill in a feature film, and she kills it in a Best Supporting Actress role as the mom who's trying her best to keep it together while raising 2 kids. Jamie Dornan is delightful as a loving dad with so much on his plate, from working in another country to being present for his sons and being a good husband. He has such a sweet and down-to-earth chemistry with Balfe that you feel the love and distress they experience. However, the movie shines best when you're with the grandparents, played by Ciarán, Hinds, and Judi Dench. Those scenes stand out because that's where Buddy goes to get advice, and Hinds is so tender and perfect as this wise and smooth grandfather, while Dench is a foil for him to playfully talk trash to his face. That old married couple dynamic they share is amazing. I haven't even thought of the term Best Supporting Actor this year, but man, Hinds is gripping in every scene as he brings such sweet granddad wisdom. You know I adore short movies, especially during this time of the year where we're given nothing but excessively long dramas. Yet, due to its short runtime, you feel that Belfast's pacing doesn't correspond with the intended gradual build-up to make the emotional beats hit heavily. The film is 97 minutes long, and many of the episodic vignettes move like a breeze where most moments feel too short and then sometimes too long. It opens threads that don't get as much time and attention as they deserve. Many family members in Buddy's unit are given their time to shine, except his older brother Will, who gets the scraps. His role is practically non-existent, while his bad egg older cousin, played by Laura McDonnell, from that movie we don't talk about, uses him as bait and influences/forces him to join her on her petty crime spree. I feel bad for the guy because he's just there for the sake of being there and lacks a proper story. How is he dealing with navigating through all of this? Since Belfast takes place in the span of a year, Branagh could have padded out the time a bit to flesh out the overall narrative instead of taking snapshots at rapid shutter speed. At times, the film feels repetitious, for it features nothing but Van Morrison songs and constant montages. The songs are fine and all, depending on how you feel towards Morrison. Do a try not to cringe challenge with his most recent album, I Dare Ya. But you know there are so many other Irish artists they could have pulled music from. There's so much Van Morrison present when this movie is the cinematic equivalent of Stevie Wonder's I Wish. I could cut up an AMV with that song, match it to this movie, and it would be a natural fit. Speaking of natural or unnatural fits, the film features an antagonistic character played by Colin Morgan who exudes major West Side Story energy and feels like a character from an entirely different movie. From the moment he shows up, you already know the role he's supposed to play, but he still felt so out of place for me. The cracks of Belfast starts to show in the third act, for all of the intricate pieces that were set up in varying degrees are thrown at a wall where you know it had enough potential and mileage to be more organic. By the time the final reel comes around, you feel the movie has lost track of time going, oh boy, we gotta tie up all these threads right now, this movie needs to wrap up right now! The film doesn't give you any time to breathe through its grand finale. Scenes just happen where the tone switches on a dime and you don't know how to respond to it. Moments of tragedy and dark intensity jump right into a moment of levity and joy in a snap, and it feels like some scenes were left on the cutting room floor. By the end of it all, Belfast is a nice change of pace for director Kenneth Branagh, as you feel him passionately getting something meaningful off his chest. It's certainly flawed, especially with his storytelling, which is too short for its own good that it disrupts the natural flow for pacing. It's no secret that Belfast is a feel-good crowd pleaser, and may be the best of its kind this year that fills you with genuine hope. It's something I'd even recommend families to see. It's minimal in scope and storytelling, but it's huge in heart, and boy does it creep up on you. At the end of it all, we're giving Belfast a wee old 3.5 out of 5. If you're watching this video post or prior to the film's release, let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with my takes? Leave a comment in the comment section below. And hey, while you're here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel, or head on over to RendyReviews.com where you can find the written review of this film along with hundreds of more reviews. And hey, subscribe to our Patreon where you can get early access to written reviews, video reviews, and a bunch of other exclusive content that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, I'm Rendy Jones, and I'll see y'all next time.